Hey guys, ETN Study from Sunbros, and today I'm really excited to be bringing you guys yet another top 5 video as we cover the top 5 worst warriors. And if you guys enjoy the content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course check out our other top 5 videos in our Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night live streams. Now before we get started, I want to make sure I thoroughly explained what criteria we're using to designate a warrior. In the game currently in NA, there is 15 warriors, and a lot of them are assassin types, and a lot of them are tank types, but they're still listed as warriors. So what we're going to do is we're going to base every hero in the game who's listed as a warrior based on the basic team job functions of a warrior or an off tank. That is to do damage, to have a good balance of damage and tankiness, to be a distraction, to have crowd control, specifically AoE crowd control, to be a solid frontliner, and of course to cause disruption to the enemy's backlines. So there's going to be some heroes on the top 5 worst warriors list that are going to grade out really well as top 5 tanks and top 5 assassins, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily grade out good as off tanks or warriors. Alright, and coming in at number 5 is none other than Thane. Now before you guys pick up your pitchforks and you come out to protest and go crazy, keep in mind that Thane came in at number 2 on our top 5 tanks list, so it's nothing against Thane as a hero, it's just that in the capacity of a warrior, you know, the job of an off tank, having a balance of damage and tank, being a massive distraction with a bunch of AoE crowd control, frontlining, all that stuff, and the ones that Thane really possesses really well are the ones that apply to tanks. One of the other things that warriors tend to be really good at is wave clears. They have abilities that give them AoE damage, and damage enough to be able to really clear waves of minions without a problem. That also doesn't apply to Thane. Thane can take an eternity clearing out a single minion wave, let alone a super. So to recap, even though Thane has what it takes to really be a potent hero in the Arena of Valor world, that comes in as tank, and he really doesn't cut it as a warrior whatsoever, which lands him at the number 5 worst warrior position in the game. Coming in at number 4 is another person who rates highly on another list, and that is Nacroth. Nacroth represents the second hero on our list to have a major identity crisis. Just like Thane, Nacroth actually rates as a very good assassin, coming in at number 4. Now the main reason why Nacroth rates number 4 amongst the top 5 worst warriors is because he doesn't really check off many of the boxes that we're looking for in a warrior. For example, one of the most important things that a warrior must do is have a decent balance of damage and tankiness. While Nacroth won't struggle providing you with some decent damage, he will however struggle becoming a very good and reliable tank, especially if you're requiring him or asking him to become a frontliner for your team and to initiate team fights. While Nacroth does excel at going in and initiating his one-on-one fights, he struggles for sure when it comes to initiating a team fight and causing a big time disruption or distraction for more than one single target. Nacroth is best played as an assassin type hero, surgically knowing exactly when to get in, when to get out, and assassinating his targets along the way. Asking Nacroth to be your off tank or warrior is about as smart as asking this guy to perform your surgery. Alright, coming in at number 3, we have Taro. Taro is our first true warrior that we have on the list. Even though she can be very tanky, Taro is best built as kind of a hybrid warrior build, but obviously that doesn't mean that she's going to excel at that either. She actually ranked in our top 5 worst tanks at number 3, and she comes in at, oh look, it's number 3 again on the top 5 worst warriors.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go.
Now, the only real argument that any Tara fans have about her being higher on any list is that she's very hard to kill. But the thing about it is that she doesn't really give you anything else at all. She has very little to no crowd control, especially when compared to other warriors and tanks. She gives you virtually none. There's also the small fact that she has a very counterintuitive ultimate and passive combination, where one of them gives you more damage based on how much HP you have missing, and the other one heals you for 40% over 5 seconds, effectively negating the extra damage that she would have normally wanted to take advantage of. All these things taken into consideration, and still the absolute worst thing about Tara as a warrior is her incredible lack of damage. The reality of the situation is that Tara is far more annoying than she is effective. The best strategy against Tara is to just ignore her and move on to actually important targets while she walks around doing virtually nothing. But if you want a really good show, check out a Tara versus Tara fight, but bring some popcorn because it might take a while. Coming in at number 2 is none other than Wukong. And before the hysteria starts, let me just tell you guys, there's no need to go ape. Obviously, I'm a Wukong main just like many of you guys are. But the reality is that when you're playing Wukong as a warrior rather than as an assassin, you're making a massive mistake. As a Wukong main, I have actually, of course, tried him as a warrior with some tank items and tried to do some alternative things with him. And I can tell you for a fact that it's not what he's made for, it's not what he's good at, and it is a waste of time.
I immediately regret this decision.
Because of Wukong's build, he simply isn't capable of becoming super tanky without sacrificing so much of his damage that he becomes extremely inept in that area. Because of this, Wukong isn't really able to add a whole lot of frontline control, not a whole lot of distraction, damage, and his crowd control is mostly minimal. What this boils down to is essentially one thing. I can't think for the life of me why Wukong would be listed as a warrior as well as an assassin. If you guys remember our top 5 assassins video, Wukong ranked at number 1, which is a little bit controversial, but he certainly is a very good assassin and doesn't really rate as a very good warrior. As a Wukong main, I can tell you for a fact that when I stroll out there with my assassin build, jungling, I look like this.
Last time I checked, I was full grown, so I ain't got time to play with you.
And on the flip side, when I come out trying to be a warrior, half tank, half damage, off tank, I look like this. Alright guys, and before we go ahead and get to the number 1 spot, let's check up on Thane real quick and see how he's coming along. Alright guys, and coming in at the number 1 spot for worst warriors in all of Arena Valor is of course the only hero that it could possibly be, Xanis. And of course, in true Xanis fashion, when we tried to give him the award for the worst warrior in Arena Valor, he did what Xanis does best, really the only thing he does well, which is to run away like a coward.
And so, you just ran.
Yeah.
Why is Xanis the number 1 worst warrior in Arena Valor, you ask? Well, I'll tell you why. Because one of the most disappointing things that ever happens to anyone in this game is when they're picking a team comp, you got a guy who insta-locked in on Zephyrus, right? Okay, cool, you got a good mage, you got a good support, maybe you're playing Violet, or you're playing Taunt, you're playing a really solid marksman. You know what you're thinking, this is a really solid team comp. And then right before the game starts, 3-4 seconds to go, Zephyrus switches to Xanis, and my face be like,
What? You son of a bitch! You no good damn son of a bitch!
Seriously though, when we think about a good warrior, a good off tank, one of the very first things and the things that we very commonly talk about is the ability to be a good initiator. Well, when the best thing that you do is actually to run away, that's kind of the opposite of initiating. One of the other things we commonly discuss is the ability for an off tank to be able to have a good balance of damage and tankiness. And I do think that Xanis does have a good balance of these because they both suck.
That's right, it sucks.
It certainly does suck.
Xanis also provides very little to nothing when it comes to front lining. Now there is 2 areas of off-tank jobs and warrior jobs that we've discussed in the past that he actually is elite at. The first thing is, and it's one thing that we've mentioned in our how to play warriors video, is that Xanis tends to be more forgiving. As we said, the one real true hardcore skill he has is to run away. So he's very forgiving. If you get in over your head, you have the ability to get out. And the second thing that Xanis is really elite at is when we talk about off-tanks and warriors providing really good distractions and disruption, I don't know that there's any better distraction in this game than an easy free kill. And before all you Xanis mains get all pissed off about me putting Xanis at the number 1 worst warrior spot where he belongs and constantly making fun of how trash he is, because he is, I just want you guys to know that what you guys think you look like is this, but what you actually look like is this. Alright guys, and that is the end of our top 5 video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. To recap, coming in at number 5 is Thane. Coming in at number 4, Nakroth. Coming in at number 3 is Taro. Coming in at number 2, Wukong. And coming in at number 1 is Xanis. I apologize, we don't have a good picture of him because when we tried to take it, he ended up running away. So we'll just leave you with this. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you did, make sure you guys give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course check out our other top 5 videos, our how to build videos, and of course our Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night live streams. And before I leave you, let's quickly check back in on Thane and see how he's doing. Alright guys, and as always, until next time,